Sure. I mean, a lot of the recruiting tools that we use, or excuse me, recruiting platforms that we use have AI integrated in them to make them a better product, generally speaking. So these big companies,
Okay.
the big job boards now leverage AI on their own that we, in effect leverage as well. So AI is being integrated on all fronts with all the tech stack we are currently using. Now, some recruiting companies use AI for interviews, and they're replacing humans to conduct interviews with candidates. We are not doing that. We think that it's important that we have that human touch on the first, second, and third round interviews. But we use AI in another sense to when it comes to gathering information, transcribing text and matching job descriptions to skills quickly. So we're able to do that all within 2 weeks from the time that we have a client that wants to launch a job with us to the time that we find and place that candidate. So as long as we're meeting that standard of finding someone in 2 weeks and keeping the quality there, then we're
Hmm.
happy.
The Intelligence Forge podcast is sponsored by Permasize AI Forge. The Intelligence Forge podcast is sponsored by Permasize AI Forge. At Permasize AI Forge, we know you're ambitious, but are manual tasks like admin, lead generation, nurturing, and onboarding holding you back from truly scaling your business? Imagine saving dozens of hours every week, freeing you to deepen client relationships and execute high-impact strategy. Our clients aren't just imagining it. They're saving countless hours per week and doubling their revenue within months. We custom build AI automation systems that eliminate the grind. From effortless lead generation and nurturing to seamless onboarding, we give you back the most valuable resource, your time, so you can focus on building those vital human connections and driving strategic growth. Stop letting repetitive tasks limit your potential. It's time to build a business that works for you, not the other way around. Ready to unlock your true scaling power? Visit PermasizeAIForge.com and book your free AI audit call today to discover how you can save time and double your revenue. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the Intelligence Forge YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new episode.
The AI-powered talent revolution, sourcing, vetting, and scaling global remote team. Welcome to the Intelligence Forge. Raz Malas, the CEO and co-founder of Talent Hackers, is my guest today. Raz, it's fantastic to have you here today. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. I've been looking forward to this conversation about what you're building at Talent Hackers. But let's start by you introducing yourself to our audience, especially for those who are not that familiar with you, with what you do. Could you please just tell us about yourself, about Talent Hackers, and the role that you play in this company?
Sure. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Talent Hackers. We're an offshore staffing agency helping Western companies get introduced to international talent. We hire talent from all over the world. We hire talent from Africa, Latin America, and some other select locations as well. The talent we hire is full-time, and they work in our clients' time zone. So if you're hiring from the US, our talent works full-time for your organization, just like any other employee does. And yeah, that's what we do.
All right, fantastic. Okay, I see you are growing very rapidly, and what's the most exciting thing that is happening currently, in your company? Maybe some success stories or milestone that you want to share with us.
Yeah, we are growing very rapidly. I think we have a really strong team. We're approaching 20 team members internally. So we have a great marketing team, sales team, recruiting team, and that's probably where we're focused the most on our team and our systems and processes, because we ultimately want to be giving everyone the best service quality possible. We want to hire the best talent for our clients. We want to act as the best HR partner for our clients, the best recruiting partner for our clients. And we also want to work with great companies and continue to do so that our talent can feel accomplished working for a great company. So that's what we were focusing on.
Fantastic. That's incredible. I mean, building a company that have that kind of number of employees, you still growing, and you're also offering a lot of value. I think it's really incredible to set that in motion. But I just want to ask you, with all this that you mentioned, is there any specific AI tool or technology that you are currently leveraging at your company, just to stay competitive within the staffing and recruiting industry? How are you using this tech to vet talent or to match them with your client?
Sure. I mean, a lot of the recruiting tools that we use, or excuse me, recruiting platforms that we use, have AI integrated in them to make them a better product, generally speaking. So these big companies,
Okay.
big job boards now leverage AI on their own that we, in effect, leverage as well. So AI is being integrated on all fronts with all the tech stack we are currently using. Now, some recruiting companies use AI for interviews, they're replacing humans to conduct interviews with candidates. We are not doing that. We think that it's important that we have that human touch on the first, second, and third round interviews. But we use AI in another sense to when it comes to gathering information, transcribing text and matching job descriptions to skills quickly. So we're able to do that all within 2 weeks from the time that we have a client that wants to launch a job with us to the time that we find and place that candidate. So as long as we're meeting that standard of finding someone in 2 weeks and keeping the quality there, then we're happy.
Yeah, the human touch, it's very important. I think we say this all the time on our podcast. Whatever you are automating using AI, the human element, very key, very important. The magic wand question is the question everyone has to answer. So I'm going to ask you the same question now. If you have a magic wand today and you could instantly improve something within your company and you could see the result immediately, what would that be and why? You're thinking about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I handle, we wear a lot of hats as founders. I have a partner that complements my skill sets really well.
Okay.
So the areas of focus that I spend the most time on are on the sales and marketing side. And so, we're always looking to work with the best companies. And if I can wave a magic wand, it would be to attract the best companies to work with us so that we can showcase our amazing services to them. And so getting in front of those companies is important.
Okay. That's good. That's fantastic. Okay, let's dive deeper into the main topic, AI-powered talent revolution. When you think about the intersection of AI, global talent, remote work, what's your take on where this industry is heading in the next 2 to 3 years? What trend are you seeing that most business owners are still sleeping on?
Yeah, I mean, I think global talent is here to stay. I think there are a lot of business owners there that are stuck in the traditional ways of thinking and doing, which is working, in office, keeping the talent domestic, which is fine and is necessary for a lot of companies. But I think a lot of the digital companies or even traditional companies who have back office work are going to come to realize that you could leverage someone full-time behind a computer anywhere in the world as long as there's an internet connection, and you won't hurt quality.
Right. You mentioned in one of your content that traditional hiring is broken, slow, it's expensive and unreliable. Can you share a specific example of a client who came to you, was stuck with the old model, and how you've been able to use your own method to transform the hiring process?
Well, I mean, when a client works with us, we are an extension of their team. Rather than needing to hire full-time recruiters, we are that recruiting partner. So you don't have to hire someone full-time. And we are the experts, and we have our hiring process that works. The hiring process we're using is a hiring process that has succeeded in hiring over 1,000 people. Why go through the learning curve of recruiting on your own as a founder if you don't have a recruiter, when you can focus on scaling your company and, worrying on building versus recruiting, which is very time consuming. It's very time consuming. I mean, it probably takes dozens of hours, multiple dozens to hire one person from A to Z. You think about everything that goes into it, it's extremely complex. And then if you make the wrong hire, because maybe somewhere in your hiring process you made a mistake and it led to average applicants or below average applicants. Now you have to work with that person and find out a month later that they're no good, and you just waste even more time, much more time. So working with a recruiting company like ours allows you to kind of skip that learning curve in recruiting, and also allows you to skip the need to hire a recruiter internally and let us do our jobs while you do your job, which is growing your company. And on our end, it's recruiting the best talent for you.
Wow, that's insightful. But talking about time consuming, I know there's a lot of moving parts in the process that you follow. Do you think if you are able to maybe automate some of those processes, especially the one that you have to repeat daily, weekly, the one that actually consume most of your time, how valuable would that be to helping you, to get back some time that you can focus on a lot of other strategic things that probably you can automate?
Well, yeah, we have. Our process is automated.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking because you said it's time consuming and there's a lot of process. So in anything that will be time consuming, probably 30 minutes every day, 1 hour every day could turn into 5 minutes, which then will reduce the body. So that's just the reason why I asked that follow-up question, because anything that is time consuming can be reduced to almost nothing. Not 100%, but at least probably to less than 5%, which probably will just mean that you just need to review it and approve it. Because we tell people never automate everything 100%. Otherwise, you head into some kind of issues, because if anything goes wrong, you still take responsibility. So you have to leave that element of human touch into it. So that's just the reason why I ask you that question. If anything is still like consuming your time now, why not automate it?
For sure. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right, let's move on. I just wanted to ask, because I'm just curious, what is your biggest challenge that you face, especially in building your business around offshore talent and placement? This is not the common placement like within the US, you're placing people now. This is offshore. You're looking at one example of challenge is time factor in terms of time zone. It's not the same, but that may not be maybe the biggest challenge. But I just wanted to share with us the biggest challenge you face, especially because you're doing offshore placement and recruiting.
Yeah, I mean, time zone is definitely not an issue because, they work the U.S. hours. So there's a complete 8-hour overlap with all the talent we source all around the world. We stay away from the Far East, like Philippines, for example, because it's 12 hours ahead. Now, they can still work 9 to 5 Eastern, for example, but it is difficult as a human being to work like a vampire works, right? So, we hire, the furthest we go is Africa, particularly Nigeria. They are 5 hours ahead of the Eastern time zone. So, they work in their afternoon time versus morning, which is fine. They're still able to get sunlight. So that's not a big challenge. But, challenges of recruiting in general, honestly, probably the biggest challenge is that there's so many applications that come in. And so you have to, you can get 1,000 applicants on average. We probably get around 600 applicants per role on average. And so in some cases you get 1,000, even if it's 600, you have to sort through all of those applications and you have to do it efficiently. And as you're sorting, you may miss out on great talent. It can happen. And so, really taking a fine comb and going through each one, making sure you don't miss a good candidate is important. Yeah, and as you scale, recruiting gets more complex, but I think our system and process is perfect. And we're able to scale as we need. We can have as many as 50 roles open at the same time, and we won't have any service quality issues. So.
All right. Well, I know when you talk about having a lot of applications and then have to deal with it, I think that's also something you can look into on how to probably use automation, at least to get them vetted first. I think, again, maybe also have a database whereby you put all of them, you can recycle them as need arises. But one question that comes to my mind when I was looking through your profile is, why offshore? What is the catch in you using this methodology? I know it saves costs as part of what you spoke about, but how did you arrive at let's hire from Africa and they will be working for US, let's hire from Philippines, from Pakistan? What brought up this idea? How did you come about it?
Well, for my last company, I hired 150 people offshore. And they managed all of our 50 e-commerce brands that we owned. And so, I worked with offshore talent ever since I was in college, and it's been a great experience for me. And, when I was building that business, I realized, when we were starting out, hard to hire. So it was hard in the beginning to justify hiring, someone in the U.S. to start. And I needed support right away. So I figured, let me try hiring offshore. I started off finding a couple people in Pakistan, and I was able to hire multiple people for even less than anyone in the US. And honestly, like, the experience was just way better because I had multiple opinions and it wasn't breaking the bank, and I was able to, when you're dealing with e-commerce and Amazon, there's a lot of moving parts and you need a lot of people attentive to certain things. So I had a really good experience, and we scaled very well. We scaled our operations team very well with offshore talent as we continued to acquire new brands and build out new brands. So that's why I'm super bullish on offshore talent. Offshore talent isn't necessarily going to completely replace US talent. Actually, it's the opposite. They're going to support US talent. For my other company, I mentioned we hired so many offshore, but we still had hired a lot in the US, and they managed offshore teams where they were able to delegate more tasks to free up their time and focus on strategy, focus on growth. So there's a lot of many benefits. Hiring offshore, you notice as well that they go above and beyond for your company, especially when they're working for a US company, because it's a resume builder, it's a foot in the door. You're getting a great deal of respect and gratefulness when you're working with offshore talent. I would say more so than some employees in the US. It's just the way it is. In the US, yeah. I'll stop there.
How is the demand? Are companies demanding for offshore talent, or you have to educate them for them to know that, oh, this might be a good idea?
How is the demand on the client side? Like, how?
Yes. So what I mean is that the companies that need these offshore employees, is the demand very high, or you have to actually educate them to let them know if you do this, then it will be beneficial to you? So do they come on their own to say, oh, we want to hire offshore, or you have to take it to them?
The demand is very high. Many companies already know that this is possible, but honestly, there are a lot of people that don't. And a lot of people are getting to know this side of business and this possibility of scaling teams remotely. So demand increased way more at the start of COVID because everyone naturally had to go remote anyway, even the US employees. And that opened up people's minds and attention to offshore talent because we're working remote anyway. So there's still the majority of businesses probably don't know as much for offshore talent, but it's a very easy explanation. I mean, we all are familiar with remote work in the US now. And so in the US, there's a ton of remote job opportunities. So who cares where you're from? You could be speaking like me and maybe be in South America right now, but who really cares? Who, as long as you're getting the same quality, what does it matter? We all have access to the internet. We're all on Wi-Fi. We all have computers.
Getting the job done is the most important thing, for sure. If you have companies that probably they're still stuck, I don't want to hire offshore, what advice will you be giving them? Probably we have a CEO listening, watching. They're like, wow, this guy's talking about hiring remotely. No, I don't think it's a good idea. What advice will you be giving them?
If you've never tried it before, give it a shot. I would say hire someone full-time versus hourly. A lot of people have heard of Upwork or Fiverr and hire someone on a project basis or hourly for part-time work, but you're going to get a completely different experience when you're working with hourly wages or project-based talent. And the reason is because if you think about it, I'm a freelancer. I get a gig to work for you. You're only taking up 5 to 10 hours a week of my time. I now need to find other people to work for, multiple other people to work for, to cover all my hours so I can make more money. And so you're not getting the full attention, the full buy-in from that person. Also, that person is not integrated into your internal comms. They're not integrated into your Slack. They're not integrated into your company email. They're not a true team member of yours. You get a lot more value from true team members full-time, and that's what we hire for. We only hire full-time employees for our clients. We want to give our clients a sense that there is no difference between who we're hiring and who you're hiring from the US. It's the same exact thing. And they're going to get a company Slack. They're going to get into your company Slack. They're going to get a company email. They're going to be on those stand-up calls that you have. They're going to be on all your team meetings, just like any other employee. You're going to get a lot more value from someone like that, someone who really truly understands and cares about your company, your image, and is working towards your common vision for the whole organization. So yeah, that's the advice I would give. Hire them full time, not part time. And there are a lot of people who have tried to hire part-time and have had bad experiences for the reasons I've mentioned. And I think that's why you can possibly be getting a bad experience. I mean, even if you hire someone part-time in the US, it's the same thing. Like, you can also get poor experience because you're not getting the full attention of someone, right?
Yeah, I know there's a lot of technicalities in these, which I don't think we should dive into that, but I will take that in my last question. So before the last question, there's something I want to ask you. I saw this about superhuman. What does that mean?
Superhuman?
Yes.
I think that's the email provider.
Yeah, on the email, yes.
Yeah, it's it's an app that allows me to sort through my email in my inbox, so I can get through my email quickly.
Ah, okay. It's not your product. It's just something you bought. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just curious. Okay. My last question is, if anyone wants to connect with you, maybe they are from maybe one of those countries you mentioned, and they feel like, well, I think this guy could help me get some remote job. Where can they find you?
Sure. You can find me at trytalenthackers.com. You can also email me at raz@trytalenthackers.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn at Raz Malas and Instagram and Twitter at Raz Malas.
All right. Thank you so much. I just remember something. If you want to share, it's fine. Otherwise, you can leave it. Out of all these offshore countries, which country do you hire from the most?
Nigeria.
Why?
Best. There's 230 million people in Nigeria. It's the number 6 most populated country in the world. The median age in Nigeria is 19 years old, which means in the last 19 years, the population has doubled, which means you have a lot of tech-enabled youthful population. You have a youthful tech-enabled population. Because if you think about it, they're born in the .com era. Yeah, and the government is investing heavily into the education of the youth, specifically in tech. But also they are focused on becoming the #1 outsourcing hub in the world by 2027. So over the Philippines, which I think is currently #1. Also, Nigeria is only 5 hours ahead of the Eastern time zone, which is a big plus. And the native language in Nigeria is English. So you don't have any communication issues, which goes a long way. So
in all ramification, Nigeria actually ticked the box for you guys.
Yeah, and that was after we tried hiring. But we've hired from Pakistan, India, Philippines, South America. We still hire from all those places except for the Philippines, and Nigeria still seems to be the leading country we're sourcing from.
And I guess probably in terms of wage demand, salary demand, they don't actually demand for much.
I mean, we pay 4 to 5 times more than the median salary there. We pay above market generously. But yeah, in any other country, they're all pretty similar in terms of wages.
All right. Thank you so much. I think your insight is very valuable. And I think the experience you've shared, especially for people who actually don't believe that offshore recruiting it's actually real, because people think it's just by chance. If you get something, it's by chance. It's not like it's actually happening actively. And I believe a lot of people will benefit from your insight, and they could be able to contact you to say, well, I'm looking for this. But one last thing, do you only hire for tech, or it could be any industry?
We hire in tech, e-commerce, help a lot of marketing agencies, any business with an online presence or a digital presence. We also hire for a lot of B2B SaaS companies, consumer tech companies as well. We even hire for traditional businesses, like blue-collar businesses, like a painting company is one of our clients. They hire a lot of accounting support through us. So like any business which has a back office team can leverage us as well. So yeah.
Raz, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
You didn't quit your day job to become a full-time admin assistant. The Intelligence Forge podcast is sponsored by Permasize AI Forge. At Permasize AI Forge, we know you didn't start your business to spend 60 hours a week on paperwork, chasing leads, and managing endless admin tasks. You started it to build something meaningful and serve your clients. But right now, you're trapped in the day-to-day grind instead of growing your business. What if I told you our clients are reclaiming 15, 20 hours per week, increasing their revenue by 30 to 50% within 6, 12 months, and finally getting their lives back? We don't just automate random tasks. We build custom AI systems that eliminate the bottlenecks choking your growth, from leads generation to lead, nurturing and management to project management to client follow-ups. Stop paying for an expensive, frustrating manual system. It's time to upgrade to strategic automation. Visit PermasizeAIForge.com and book your free business transformation strategy call today. Discover exactly how much time and money you're losing to manual processes and how to get both back. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Intelligence Forge, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode packed with game-changing insights. Your future automated business is waiting.